Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news of Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host Mac, so let's get on with it. This week we see how the Origin 890 jump is coming along, work on the Banu Defender begins and the 600i Tora is almost ready to release, plus we get a look into what types of housing players will get to rent. So on Calling All Devs, the first question was, after 3.2 item 2.0 power system, which is what we got for 3.2, that was very confusing. What's next to do, or what's left to do to complete the full 2.0 system? Now, item 2.0 is not one thing. What's left to convert from 1.0 to 2.0 are the thrusters, countermeasures, and missiles. 3.2 had all the weapons changed over to 2.0. With 3.2, the power work included heat and degradation, and where next is negative causes of degradation, like misfiring, for example. Anyway, next question. Why do different ships have different speeds when in quantum travel? And apparently the speed and accelerations are controlled by the size of the quantum drive on a ship. So size 1 behaves differently to a size 2. And also the grades and the class differ these a little bit as well. If everything works at the same speed, it would just look so automated and you wouldn't get that cool sort of ships popping in at different times. Currently, the bigger the drive, the quicker you can go, and the more acceleration you have, but the longer it takes to spool up and the longer it takes to cool down, whereas the smaller ships will likely ping off first, but if you're travelling over longer distances, bigger ships will begin to overtake the smaller ships, and I cannot wait to see that happening if you're travelling as a fleet and just a large Idris comes passing your ship. That's going to be incredible. But that's kind of cool to know. I didn't know that actually affected the speeds. I had no idea that every ship travelled at different speeds, so it's good information there. Next question, can we get a no respawn Arena Commander mode without power-ups? Kind of a hardcore mode. Now they say pickups are gone from Arena Commander, and a hardcore mode should be quite simple to do. It shouldn't require much in terms of creating it as a game mode, but the difficulty is, should they do it? There's only a handful of people playing Arena Commander, but will it be something that would work in Arena Commander? Because that's kind of what it's like in the verse. I think it's a good idea because when I play Battlefield, or when I used to play Call of Duty, I would play in the hardcore mode. It just felt like more of a challenge, so that would be better training in terms of playing Arena Commander or Star Marine. But, as they say, Arena Commander is not priority at the moment, but they are looking to hire a dev team to specifically work on AC and Star Marine. Then, if they do that, they will look into whether it's worth doing or not. I think there's so much you can do with Arena Commander and Star Marine, but as they say, the priority is the PU. The idea of both Star Marine and Arena Commander was to make it the testbed for flight and for FPS. Well, when they realised that they could just use the persistent universe for this, AC and Star Marine became a little redundant. But in the future, it is an in-game game, so there's going to be a lot of work done on it. But yeah, if they hire a dev team to specifically work on it, it won't take away from the main game, and I'm happy with that. So final question for Calling All Devs. The Hammerhead is coming with 3.3. How will missions work and scale with ship sizes? Will there be meaningful gameplay for larger ships? Now, they say scaling in difficulty is not something they'll be doing. Instead, they will just offer more difficult missions that larger ships will be required, or larger crew members. When it comes to mission scaling, it didn't work because the missions would always feel the same. So regardless of whether you took on a mission on your own, if you thought I couldn't do that mission, let me get some friends in, and then it scaled up, it would still be just as difficult. So it makes much more sense that some missions will be easy, some will be difficult, some will just require more crew, more ships. Interdiction, on the other hand, they say will be using the scaling system because it's not our choice to be interdicted. And, you know, we choose the missions, we don't choose to be attacked in that sense, so they're going to scale it that way when it comes to AI. But I 100% agree with this. Missions, some of them should feel easy, some of them should be difficult. It's up to you whether you want to take that mission on or not. If you start that mission, you find it's too difficult, there's nothing wrong with backing out of it. I think that's kind of the future of missions in terms of gaming. Instead of scaling it all the time where everything does feel the same. It would be nice if you were struggling at a certain point to call in more people and then make it a walk in the park, just mowing down pirates or whatever, you know, so definitely agree with that. Anyway, that was Calling All Devs, guys. Let's move on to Around the Verse. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So on Around the Verse this week, they begun by looking over 3.2, but I decided to skip that because we already know what is in 3.2. Currently, they are adding more layers to the mining sound effect. When you get closer to the rock, it brings a more high-end sound, and as you get further away, the sounds become more rumbly, giving it more of an immersive and realistic sound. The mining arm, extract and retract sound is also getting updated. It does sound a lot better, you can hear it here. And finally, the audio rock destruction sounds have more layers depending on the size of the rock itself. And it all does sound much better. I luckily don't really blow up that many rocks, but I might want to now, it sounds so cool. So on to 3.3. Character and animation have been mixing up the body and facial animations to see what works to use for NPC variety, especially on people like shopkeepers and bartenders. The ship team is pushing various ships through the pipeline. We got to see the whitebox block out of the 890 jump, which is looking incredible. This is on 3 decks, very big. I'm sure myself and many others are looking forward to that one. The 600i entertainment and comfort focused touring module is being fine-tuned. This is apparently 99% complete, just a little layer of polish is left. And then it'll come to the PU, so it looks like it will drop before 3.3, maybe in a little hotfix patch, which is very cool. We didn't see that on the roadmap. This one actually houses an extra 4 crew members. In the center, it has a large communal area to sit and relax in, and a really cool spiral staircase. Plus, they pushed the vegetation to give it more of a relaxed aesthetic. Now, the Banu Defender is going through research and development. They're locking in the unique styling points. This is the first taste of the Banu engineering. Also the first stage to getting the Banu merchantman in, as they need to lock down the style guides for the Banu ships. So as soon as they know what they're doing, I'm sure they will start on the Banu merchantman. So the final piece of ATV that I thought was very interesting was a look at the utilitarian hangars first and foremost, which is only brief, but the best bit was the player habitation modules, which will be coming on Hurston. So these are self-contained player housing. Apparently for Hurston, this is the utilitarian variant. There will be other variants to these player housing. You'll have more at market ones, even lower market maybe. But the guy took inspiration from co-workers' desks to bring a lot of interesting props. They do look incredible, and I for one cannot wait to buy or rent my own property within the walls of Lawville. I have done a separate video on these habitation pods, just talking a little further about what we could expect from them and what it may mean for us as the player. The link to that video is below. It's definitely worth a watch. Anyway, that was Around the Verse. It was a few minutes longer than the one from last week, so thumbs up from me. So also this week in Reverse the Verse, Jared sat down with LA concept artist Jeremiah Lee to create a character from scratch. They did settle on a truck stop chef in the form of a very fat Jared with a huge beard. The link is below should you want to watch it. I highly suggest it. It was a lot of laughs, very funny. I didn't catch it live unfortunately, but it's always fun to see those two sat together. And the character looks cool. There is a petition on Spectrum to try and get this character into the game, so I'm looking forward to seeing if that actually happens. There was also a new portfolio post giving us an insight into what the ICC, or the Imperial Cartography Center, is and what they do for the universe. And finally, subscribers got a new galactic guide which took a look at the Orentani system. This is a system in which the jump point, the only jump point, to and from it collapsed, which cut off the inhabitants from the rest of the verse. So very interesting read if you are a subscriber. That will eventually come to non-subscribers, but it's very cool insight into what we could be hoping to discover when we get more exploration mechanics in. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers, plus a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible. If you like what we do and want to help us make it better, follow the link in the description to our Patreon page to learn more.